Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm just doing a little video today on Raid Shadow Legends. It was something I started playing about 2 weeks ago, and I kind of just decided to do my thoughts on what I thought of the game up until this point. I know obviously there's a lot of Raid videos. To me, it seems the majority of them are endgame content, which makes complete and total sense because that is definitely where it gets more interesting. But it can definitely be helpful for people to see some stuff from the earlier game as well. So, what I'm gonna do today, like I said, is I'm just gonna kind of go over my thoughts of it as somebody who's only been playing for 2 weeks. And then my goal is to try to put out little by little some videos of earlier content, uh, earlier game content, I should say, things to focus on, and just little things to know. I definitely have a lot to learn as there is a lot to this game, but I decided and thought that if I'm having these kind of thoughts, that hey, how much is there to learn? That I'm sure there's some other people out there as well. So we're just going to kind of take a little look through and see some different things. So the very first thing that we have to go over, of course, is the champions, which is the biggest part of the game. There's over 400 champions in the game. They're divided into these different orders, and as you can see here, just within this one order, there's quite a bit. There's common, uncommon, rares, epics, and legendaries. So they go from 1 star all the way up to 5 star. 5 star having the best stats. However, just because a champion is a 5 star champion doesn't mean it's going to be better than every other champion. You could find a 4 star or a 3 star that is maybe better, or better in a specific situation. So while 5 star obviously can be very useful and is, I'm sure, going to be 99% of the time better than a 1 or 2 star, or reasonably often a 3 star, it's still something you have to research on and you need to make sure to take into the proper situations. So my roster currently is overall very small. I have not started branching out into different things. I've just tried to look at my best champions and focusing on them. I was lucky I pulled this guy, Deacon. I also have Maneater, who is very good. Elaine was my starter. I probably would have taken Kale if I would have done more research or known that I was going to be playing it a lot more. As personally, from what I've seen, it seems like he does a great job. For anybody starting, he is the mage that you can choose as one of your starting champions. So just based off what I've seen, I would recommend him, as he does seem to just do a ton of damage and really, really help you out in the early game. I was also fortunate enough to pull this champion Seer, who I've been informed is also quite good. Still working on building a team around her, which will come as I get more champions, but working on getting her leveled up as well. And then I've got a bunch of other champions down here that I'm not going to be using, but they do have a purpose in the game. So as far as getting your champions leveled up and getting them to higher star ratings, such as this here. So for example, Seer is a 4 star right now, and I'd like to get her to a 5 star. Well, to do that, I need to have 4 4-star champions that I can give to her. Well, as you can see, I do have some, but they're all locked out because they're epic champions and I don't really want to use them. So what I have to do then is come down and I need to level up my 2 stars into 3 stars, my 3 stars into 4 stars, and then I can use it. It is a little bit of a tedious process, I will be completely honest, but at the end of the day, it's worth it because your champions are getting stronger. Now, I will mention that Raid it does have a pay to play type of feature. You can spend money on the game if you choose to, and if you wanted to spend money to make these processes go faster, you absolutely can. However, this game can be done entirely free to play if you so choose. So this is something that I kind of learned. Be careful in the beginning who you put your resources into. That's something that is very important. You don't want to put a bunch of resources into a champion that's not going to be very good. For example, this gentleman here, Grunch Killjoy, he was a 4 star I got. I was like, great, 4 star, he's going to be good. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a lot of utility, so thankfully I did not actually put a ton of resources into him. I'm very glad I didn't. But you want to make sure that you research your champions, check YouTube, check tier lists online, just to get an idea of what's going to work. The other thing, of course, when it comes to a champion is checking out their skills, which is right here at the skill button. You can see exactly what a champion brings to the table. So, for example, Seer. The big reason that Seer is so good is this ability right here. And I'm going to read it out. So, it removes all buffs from allies and enemies, then attacks all the enemies. Damage increases according to the number of removed buffs. So, the more buffs that either your team has on themselves or that the enemy team has on themselves, the more damage she can do, which is why she's so useful. Now, granted, you do kind of have to build the team around her with a team that does have a lot of buffs to use, but if you can, you're looking at massive damage. Also, damage is based on the enemy max hit points, so the more damage the enemy has, or sorry, my apologies, the more health the enemy has, the more damage Seer can do. So she is really good at later content where they have all that health. So that's a big thing you have to look at, is you have to check these abilities and find ones that fit your team or find ones that fit the content that you're looking to do. So this is kind of what I said before. Just because a champion is a 5-star doesn't mean they're going to be more useful, because maybe their skill set here is not that great. For example, Deacon here, just to give a reason of why he's good, is number one, he has this ability here where it decreases the opponent's defense of all of the opponents, which is great. He also has this one where it fills your turn meter, allowing you to attack faster. It increases it by 15%, and it decreases all the enemies. So you get the chance to attack faster. Your enemy, it takes them longer to attack. So that is a reason why his skill set is very good. He can decrease his defense, and he helps with your attacking. So that's kind of just a quick statement of champions there. It's a lot of work, in a sense, to get them built up, but the game does have an autoplay feature, so you can do some grinding, just clicking replay on a stage and things that can help you out with that, so you don't have to sit there clicking all the time. Now, one thing that I did notice and I wanted to make sure to mention here is down here at the bottom, you can see this spot where it says missions. So these are progression missions. And what they are is different parts of the game that it wants you to accomplish, and it will give you rewards for it. Some of this stuff is really useful, and getting it can definitely help you out. So you can see here, for example, the one that I'm currently on, get 2 rank 5 champions. I've got one set here. I need one more. So that's currently a goal of mine, is to get another rank 5 champion. Aside from just making it easier to progress, it'll just be more useful as well for this part. And you can get the rewards from these, and then down at the bottom, there's even better rewards. So for example, if I complete all the missions in this section, which as you can see, there are a lot, but a lot of them are actually already done. And it's just all part of the progression. I mean, you can see down here, I'm already to this point. I've got this late mission cleared here, so I'm on the way already. But I have 17 out of 75 completed, but if I complete them all, I get the Sacred Shard, which guarantees a 4-star champion has a shot at a 5-star. You can also see down the bottom here, there's some rewards such as a 5-star legendary support character on the 4th part, and the very last part, you've got this champion here, a legendary attack champion. So you got some really good stuff there that you can get. So definitely make sure that you do the progression missions. Now, you only want to take them as your characters are able to do them, but you definitely want to make sure that you are aware they're there and they are going to give you good rewards. Now, something else that just a quick mention here is the summoning section. So here is the champion area where you can try to get your champions from. And right here is showing you the odds. So the one that I have the most of here is the mystery shards. It can get you 1, 2, or 3-star champions. And here you can see the drop rate. So you only have a 1.4% chance to get a rare champion. So obviously very low. But the main things of these is you're looking to get characters that you can then rank up and use to rank up your better champions. The ancient shards here, so that would be these blue shards. They give you a 91% chance for a 3-star champion, 8% chance of a 4-star. So definitely, better there. At least you're guaranteed a 3-star. And you've got a chance at a 4. You have a very small chance at a 5-star champion. Same thing for the Void one. Now, these ones, this kind of confused me in the beginning. I was like, why do they have the exact same odds. It kind of seemed weird because it is a completely different shard. However, my understanding is that it is a different summoning pool, so you could get different champions out of it. And then the last one here is the Sacred Shard, where you are guaranteed a 4-star champion, at least a 4-star champion with an 88%. You have 12% of a 5-star. Now, right here too, you can see it's 2 times the chance of legendary champions for the next 2 days. You will see this where sometimes there are additional odds increase for a champion. And then there's a fusion section that personally you don't need to worry about too much as you're leveling up, because you're not normally going to have the champions to include in this to get a new one. As you can see here, if you wanted to get this legendary champion, which it would be great, it'd be awesome, it's going to take you all of these champions to make it happen. So in the beginning, not necessarily something that I'd be worried about, but as you progress and you start getting the champions to do it, it could definitely be worth the time. And then the final thing that I really wanted to mention today, well, second to last thing. So there are tournaments and events. We're going to click tournaments really quick here. And what the tournament and events are similar, it is you doing things in the game and getting rewards for them. So for example, I'm going to click this Champion Chase tournament. As you can see, I currently have 0 points in it. But get champions by any means. Shards, marketplace, campaign, dungeons, etc. get rewards. So if I get champions here, I get a common or an uncommon, I get a point. 10 for a rare, 250 for an epic, 500 for a legendary. So if you get lucky and get any of those, get champions, you can get points. And then the points will translate up here. So for example, if you pulled 1 epic champion, you get 250 points, you'll be sitting right here. You'll get 100 energy, and you'll move up the leaderboard. You can see up at the top here, somebody has done a lot of summoning, and they're sitting to get some good rewards, and they've gotten all of these at this point. In the beginning, you are in an easier bracket where you don't have people that have been playing a long time necessarily. So in the beginning, you definitely want to check these out to try to get yourself some good rewards. And then it's the same type of thing with events here. Once we get this pulled up here, yep. So champion training event. This one is leveling up and upgrading the rank of your champions. And as you do it, you get points, and you can get all of these kind of rewards depending on how many and how far you get. And then this one is ending in 3 days. So as you can see, I have done some leveling up, but not a ton. So as I do more of that, I can try to get myself some more rewards. And then very last thing I'm going to touch on for this video is that kind of got me was all the different kinds of modes that you can fight in. Starts you off, you'll learn about your fighting in the campaign mode, which has different difficulty levels. You start off on normal, and you have all of these different sections to go through. Within each one, you have 7 stages. 6 stages against just normal minion type characters. The last stage is always a boss stage with a tougher opponent to fight. As you fight them, you can see here, you get a star for beating a stage, 2 stars for beating a stage with no losses, and 3 stars if you get no losses and clear it with just 2 champions. You do ideally want to get 3 stars in everything when you're able to, because as you can see at the bottom, you get all kinds of different rewards. Now I can't scroll back unfortunately to see my prior rewards, but there was rewards leading all the way up to here. And at the end you can see I did get a void shard. For hard, I'm almost to the end, and once I get there, I'll get a sacred shard. So these are definitely worth doing for 3-star when you're able to get there. The first time through, you're probably not going to be able to do it. You may have to come back, but it will be worth it to get yourself additional bonus rewards. And then the last thing I'm going to mention for this one is the dungeon area. Each dungeon area brings you something different. Arcane Keep gives you these potions that can be used to ascend or awaken your characters, giving them additional stats, which you do also need along with these other ones depending on what kind of character you have. If they're a void character, spirit, magic, force, whatever the case may be, you have those. You also will get additional things out of these other ones. So for example, here in the Dragon's Lair, you get the chance of a 3 to 4 star artifact. or a 4 to 5-star artifact, depending on how far you can get. So these are things that you are going to want to do. The game will introduce you to them as well. You definitely do not want to forget that all of these are here, as it is going to drastically help out your equipment and your character's level, your character's awaken levels, and just make them overall stronger. So I know there was a lot of information here, but this was just kind of the little things that I picked up as I went. It's definitely been a lot of stuff to learn. I'm still learning quite a bit, and I will definitely try to make some more videos about the beginning and how you can try to make your adventure through here a bit easier. But in the meantime, I hope you guys had yourselves a good time listening to the video. If you have any comments on things that I could cover or anything that I may have mistakenly said, please feel free to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to hit it with a like, and I hope you have an awesome day.